Hello everyone, welcome to the Indie Ocean, and this is The Curious Expedition. This is a game I've been playing a reasonable amount of recently. It's in early access on Steam, and I know that early access is a bit of a controversial situation these days, but I think The Curious Expedition is a good example of how to do early access right. In that, as soon as it came out on early access, it already had plenty of content, and it's been very, very actively developed since its release on early access. So I think it's a good example of how to use the early access model well, and of course, it's also a good game. Let me just dive straight in here and I'll show you kind of how the game works. I have unlocked a bit more than this in the past, a few extra characters and things, but I did sort of close down my progress, delete my progress, before coming back to this. So, let's just choose a character here. Marie Curie has extra perks. Richard Francis Burton is a polyglot, allows us to rest in native villages. Charles Darwin gets sanity from butterflies. Let's be Darwin, shall we? And the reason that we're choosing from these famous historical figures will become apparent as we go along. This room always reminds me of The Secret of Monkey Island. There's something about the visual style here. Welcome back to the Explorers Club, old friend. Have you heard that we're building a statue to honour the expeditions of our most famous member? And who is that? Well, we don't know yet. Word is that you have a good chance of seeing your likeness on that statue. However, I'm afraid to tell you that you are not the only candidate. You and your rivals have 6 expeditions to prove who's the most famous explorer within our club. Now, go explore, adventure awaits. So these are the explorers we're up against here. Alistair Crowley, oddly enough. I'm actually not sure who Harriet Tubman is, or Isabella Bird for that matter. Anyway, these are the famous explorers, them plus us. And the way the game works is that you will choose a location somewhere in the world to go to. At first, you only have one choice of location. But once we've completed an expedition, we'll start having other locations open up to us a bit more. And the aim essentially is to become as famous as possible, but there are several competing demands which you have to take account of when you're trying to become famous. So we're going to set off on our expedition here, and a lot of the content in the Curious Expedition is to some extent procedurally generated. So the areas we go to will have varying layouts and varying encounters within them. And even this very beginning bit, in our case a missionary walked up and asked us to take him to one of the villages in the area we're exploring. You'll get various kinds of things happening there, people coming up wanting to come with you or asking you to bring stuff back with you from your expedition. In this case we will indeed take the missionary with us. It's nothing to do with spreading the word of God, I just want an extra pair of hands. And now we'll set sail on our expedition. I like this cloud parting effect, I have to say. Here we go. There, wasn't that nice? So straight away, the missionary has marked a location of the village he wants to go to on our map. So, here's the game screen, essentially. Only a little bit of the area is revealed so far. We can see some landscape, grasslands, forests, some mountains, that kind of thing. And as we explore, we'll naturally begin revealing parts of this map here. But at the top you'll see this purple bar saying 120 of 120. That's our sanity, and that will deplete as we move around. You can see it gives us a sanity cost for our movements here. 6, 7, 8, 10 if we have to move through a more dense location. And you'll notice that says 1 times machete. Down at the bottom is the stuff we brought with us. And you can stock up on stuff before you set off on an expedition. We didn't this time because it's our first one. But if we get through this expedition, we will be able to trade for more stuff before the next expedition. And we can get more machetes and bullets and that kind of stuff. Machetes are expended to let us hack through forests with a lower sanity cost than we would have to endure otherwise. When our sanity begins to get very low, then our people begin to go a bit insane, as you'd imagine. They begin talking to themselves and having hallucinations and that kind of stuff. But insanity isn't the only danger here. there are also various kinds of natural disasters and wild animals and all kinds of stuff which can beset us. And in fact, I don't think I've ever completed more than maybe 3. I think 3 is the maximum number of expeditions I've successfully finished. It becomes altogether too easy to die while on an expedition. In common with a lot of other procedurally generated games, things like FTL, for instance, this game is quite punishing. And when your explorer does die, then they're dead. But you do get to unlock various perks and things as you go along, which will make future expeditions a bit easier. So, since the native village that our missionary wants to go to is right here, let's just go to it. I'm not going to explain all the ins and outs and various mechanics of the game here. I just want to give you an idea of how it plays, broadly speaking. So we'll pop into the village, and in the manner of something like FTL, you move around the map, and then you have encounters which break away onto this more focused screen, sort of a zoomed-in display. And the same happens with combat as well. If we're unlucky, we might have some combat. You can actually see our party standing around here, and if I point at them, you'll see who they are. That's us, Charles Darwin. We have Adashir Kama, who's a translator for us. There's the missionary, Brother Johannes, who came with us. We also have Shug McSporran, who's a soldier. And this very much has a sort of tongue-in-cheek colonial European feel to it. And we've also got Ms. Dowling, our donkey. The number of items you can carry will depend on the people in your party. And donkeys, along with some other animals, like I think buffalo or bison or something like that, can be used to basically lug a load of kit around. Anyway, here's our encounter. Day 4. We entered a native village. This group seemed to be in reverence of the spirit world. The villagers observed us, slight typo there, but never mind, observered us, with curiosity as our trek arrived at their settlement. We were able to just walk inside, as there would have been nothing unusual about our arrival. Okay. The natives observed us with caution. They were kind and offered us what they could. Upon our arrival, Adashir Kama began to converse with the natives. He assured us that we would be able to rest in the village. I'm not entirely sure what the Persian translator does to help us here, because we're clearly not in Iran, but never mind. So we can deliver our missionary here. So we may do that. I mean, this is where he wanted to come to. We could rest in the village, which allows you to regain some sanity. We haven't expended enough sanity for it to be worth doing that, I would say. And you can regain small portions of sanity by eating chocolate and drinking whiskey and various other things. We could trade, so let's start with that. And the more stuff you do while in a native village, the more you begin to wear on the patience of the people who are there. We could get some drums. We don't have a musician with us, as far as I know. I don't think I've ever come across a musician, actually. I have had a painter on an expedition a couple of times, and they can actually they paint some of the landmarks you come across, and then you can sell those paintings when you get back, so that you have more money to buy supplies for your next expedition. Otherwise, it's very easy to run out. Might want some torches, might want some rope. We don't have any rope. So basically it's a barter economy. Let's see what we can trade them in exchange for the rope. Maybe a couple of machetes? 1 machete will do it. I think 1 machete for 3 ropes is a pretty good deal. So we'll do that. And we'll deliver our missionary. We accompanied the missionary to the village chief. To reward us, he told us about the best sights to see in the region, including a holy shrine which he marked on our map. We now have a recruit option, so we could actually try to recruit someone from the village to come with us. Recruit an animal handler. I'm actually not sure what an animal handler will do for us, but let's take them. The natives aren't being disturbed by our stay, so that's good. That's our new animal handler, Kuduriwas. So we'll leave the village. I think we've pretty much concluded our business here for now. So we'll head off. And there is the shrine that the village elder guy pointed us towards. Down here there's a question mark, which promises to be something potentially interesting. I should mention that although the overall aim of the game is to become more famous than all the other explorers, on each individual expedition, the goal... Ooh, I didn't mean to click on that. The goal in each individual expedition is to find a golden pyramid. And you'll see in the top left there's a compass, which is sort of... It has its needle swinging around. That's pointing approximately in the direction of the pyramid. And the more of the map we reveal, the more accurate that compass will become. But if we just rush straight to the pyramid, then we won't find enough stuff to make us more famous. Or indeed to ensure that we have enough money to stock up for future expeditions. So you have to sort of balance getting to the pyramid and getting enough stuff. And exploring enough of the map. So let's go running over to this shrine here. It's going to use up quite a lot of sanity crossing the mountains. And these red regions, as you can probably tell, are sort of the patrol regions belonging to these wild animals. So we might have to pass through there in a minute. As it is, we're at the shrine, so we'll go to Examine Shrine. I really like the art in this, I have to say. It does have that sort of retro style to it, which, as I said, reminds me a little bit of Secret of Monkey Island. And I just kind of enjoy that. And it's nice to have a colourful, vivid visual style as well. So we've arrived at a shrine. Its stone walls are covered with ornate engravings, and there's a portal leading within which emanates an eerie chill. Let's go inside. And in here, you'll notice if we just leave our people standing around, they start passing remarks on the current location. We can investigate the altar. And you'll see here we have a golden owl head and a tome page of abomination. Now we can take these with us and either keep, when we finish, if we finish the expedition, we can either keep them, sell them for more money, or donate them to the museum in order to gain significantly more fame. And it's been my experience that arguably the best way to get fame is to donate as many of these things as you can. So we'll take all of these, loot the local shrine, but this isn't going to be pretty. In a true Indiana Jones style, when we take stuff from a shrine, bad things happen. In this case, it's a volcano, but I've seen floods, I've seen the ground opening up beneath me, and in fact I once made the mistake of nicking something from a shrine, the ground starting to open beneath my feet, and then getting very low on sanity and stopping for a rest, while the enormous chasm was still expanding, which resulted in me just getting trapped on a tiny little bit of land in the middle of the chasm. Anyway, let's continue. And you'll see volcanoes. So we kind of want to run away from these. We might want to go to this waterfall down here, because waterfalls generally let you rest and regain some sanity. We have a fair amount of sanity at the moment, but we'll deplete another 20 just getting down there. Tell you what, let's go up here and see if we can pick a fight with this animal first. I feel like I should show you some combat. No, apparently the animal dodged away from us. Those volcanoes are not looking good. There we go, bit of combat. So combat is quite board gamey. It comes down to dice rolling. And it has these handy pointers. We don't really have much extra we can use here. If we'd brought some bullets with us, we could actually use a bullet from our inventory to add an extra die or couple of dice. But as it is, we'll just have to make do with what we've got. Different members of the party and our gun all get their own dice. And basically we're trying to roll combos. Anything we roll that's part of a combo will start vibrating, like these. So, that one by itself is quick shot, but if we can combine it with this hand over here, we get shotgun blast for extra damage. Or we can try one of the other combos, like that, which will give us shield 3, which is nice defense, but we probably want to go on the attack to some extent. So let's use shotgun blast, like that, 3 damage. And then we probably do want to get defensive as well, because that thing, that tiger, can take out several members of our party in one attack if it does it well. Animals are extremely dangerous, and you do not want to enter combat lightly. You only get 3 rolls, so since we didn't get to use anything on our final roll of the dice there, we just have to move on. Animal rolled a couple of good attacks, so he's actually killed off Kuduriwas there. We recruited him from a local village and he immediately got killed. It might be worth us trying to flee, because this looks like it's going to go extremely badly. We'll try an aimed shot, and then again... it might be worth re-rolling, I guess. See if we can get anything on this red. Yeah, let's do that. Kick for 3 damage. Oh, we're not quite there yet. And there's nothing we can do with that one remaining die. Except... die! So that's 2 of our party members down. So you can see that really you mostly want to avoid combat if you possibly can. I think this should finish the tiger off. But we paid a high price. A high price indeed. We can loot its body for basically tiger pelt and meat and teeth. So again, a sort of consciously imperial parody here. British imperial, or at least European imperial. Now, because we've lost some of our people, we actually can't carry all the stuff we've picked up. So we're going to have to ditch some of our tat. We can't eat the meat because it's raw. I don't know which would be more valuable, whether it would be the meat or the pelt or the teeth. I'm going to get rid of the meat, I think. So we can right-click and just discard it like that. Now, hopefully we should be able to move, and we need to run. We don't have enough sanity. Oh, we just about have enough sanity to get to the waterfall. Although it will cost us a machete. Oh, Christ, this volcano is not very useful for us. I thought we were going to be engulfed there. You'll notice butterflies popping up. That's because we are Charles Darwin, and his perk is to just sort of discover butterflies in the forests and gain a little bit of sanity when he does so. So we'll explore this area. Magnificent waterfall, and we can rest overnight here. So we'll do that. The night was bleak, and everyone was seemingly worn out. Kuduriwas kept himself and focused with empty eyes on something in the distance. Well, I'm not surprised he keeps himself. He's dead. He's dead for combat purposes and carrying purposes, anyway. At least I think he's dead. Maybe he had a scrap of health left. After days of resting, we still enjoyed it. Yeah, we're still quite low on sanity even after that rest, so we'd better rest a bit more. Something felt wrong as we rested by the fireplace. We heard something groan from behind a nearby tree. So we can't even sleep in peace. The Curious Expedition is just full of danger. Someone with an infected wound, but we really don't have anything to cure them with. So here you have these kinds of encounters where if you have the right kind of gear with you, you can resolve them in a favourable way. Okay, so basically we had to let a guy die there. Okay, and we'll stop resting. The volcano is still spreading. So we'll move on. Yeah, volcano fire is still spreading, so we probably... Oh no, look at our compass. It's pointing northeast. The Golden Pyramid is somewhere up there. Oh, God, this is horrible. You don't have to find the Golden Pyramid. Down in the bottom left, there is a hot air balloon button, which you can use to escape. But it only has very, very limited carrying capacity. So you might have to leave some of your stuff and even some of your people behind. Okay, we need to try and... we might have to give up on the Golden Pyramid. So I'm going to try exploring down this way and hope for the best. It's using up a lot of sanity, though. Yeah, let's cancel that, because it's a dead end. Let's go this way, then. We might be able to rest by this other waterfall if we use up too much sanity. Okay, we have used a lot, so let's go in there. We don't have any machetes left, so we're having to battle expensively through these forests. So we'll have another rest, because we did expend a lot of sanity just walking over there. One of our people dropped something, so that's lovely. Very useful, thank you. A gorilla's coming our way, so we might actually have a fight in a second. The encroaching volcano makes me want to move on, but we are still a bit low on sanity, so I'll use some chocolate to push us up a bit there. Yeah, we're kind of cut off on this side. Might have to explore back over... Let's go over towards the native village, I guess. But that will force us to go through volcano land. We probably don't want to do that. But you can set directional waypoints for yourself. So we could, for instance, go like this, and then like this, and like this. So that we actually won't pathfind right through the volcano's fires. I'm starting to regret raiding that shrine because it's blocked us off a bit. And the fires have died down. There may be hope yet. So, it seems like we've done a lot of resting, but that's because we've really been depleting our sanity. We should be able to rest in the village. So we'll do that. Oh, they demand compensation. Basically because we nicked from the shrine. So we're going to have to give them some stuff. Can we give them a tooth? And a torch? Yeah, there we go. They'll accept a tooth and a torch. Ardashir Karma wants to stay behind because he's met a charming young person. He's not all that useful, but we do need the carrying capacity, so no. He'll have to come with me. He was disappointed, but he'll have to just put up with it. Yeah, we have stressed the hospitality of the visitors, so we'll leave before they chase us out. Yeah. We had the uncomfortable feeling of being watched. It's basically because we raided their shrine, which was a bit of a liberty, to be fair. So we'll try and head over here, and hope that we can find the golden pyramid. We might have to dodge around the fire again. So if we go here, and let's not... Yeah, let's go there, and then from there, maybe we can... I don't know, can we go up this way? I guess it's still too blocked, maybe. So, instead, let's go up here, see what's over this way. Hopefully this is giving you an idea of the way an expedition in the Curious Expedition works. But since we're not going to find the golden pyramid, I think we'll just take the balloon. So, ready the balloon, and escape. There we go. We didn't find the golden pyramid, but here we get a report on how much fame we have. Current fame 10, extra fame for finding butterflies. We lost fame for the fact that the time was... I don't know whether that's too short or too long. But yeah. So we came out with a net 0 fame gain, which is pretty poor. Still, nonetheless, people will applaud us and our donkey when we get home. Look at that loyal donkey! And here we get to choose from some perks for completing an expedition. So let's go with black market access, so we can access more gear when we're equipping our trek. And here we get to see how we fared against the other explorers. Yeah, we didn't do very well at all. Okay. So... I think I actually accidentally left all our stuff behind when I packed up the balloon, which is why we didn't get to donate any of it there. But let's go over to Yalampani Drylands this time. So, tool up the ship again. An old hunter came along and proposed an offer. He wants us to kill a malicious hyena called Snarf Rattle. He hated the creature with all his heart. Well, if he's a Thundercats fan, I'm not surprised he hates something called Snarf with all his heart. I'll accept that deal. And an artist offered to come along. We already have maximum capacity, so it might be worth dismissing one of the members of the trek. I'm going to dismiss Kuduriwas because he didn't seem to be a lot of help to us, and I will bring the artist along. Because I know the artist can paint some pictures which we can use to sell for cash or fame when we get back. So we'll barter for some gear here. Yeah, I think we left all of our stuff behind when we got in the balloon. That's unfortunate. So here we actually have funds, which is why you need to sell some stuff for cash. You can barter, but you can also use your accumulated funds. Whereas out in the field, you can only barter. We could really do with more stuff, but just as an example, I've taken some chocolate and some bullets there. And we'll head off. So here we are on expedition number 2. The first one was not tremendously successful, and frankly, I don't anticipate much better from this one either. And what's this thing? Oh, another shrine. I think we want to be careful with this one. Aha! This one is elevated, so we have to climb up. If we had a rope, we could use that to climb safely. But as it is, we'll have to climb up without a rope, and we could find someone falling to their death or injury. I'll take the opportunity to have our artist paint the shrine. So he did that, and now we have this painting of a shrine, which we can trade in when we get home, if we get home, and we'll climb up dangerously. It was just too difficult. Ardashir Karma got distracted and fell too deep. He smashed on the stones, his body was shattered. So we actually lost poor Karma there. And here's another shrine with more stuff. Do we really want to raid it? Yes, we do. Oh god, another volcano. When will I learn? Ugh. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day there. Like I said, I didn't want to spend an hour discussing all the ins and outs of the game, and there are a lot of mechanics I haven't touched on in detail or haven't really mentioned at all. This is quite a superficial skim over the way the game works, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how it plays so that you can form an opinion about whether it's something that might interest you. As I mentioned, it is challenging. It's very easy for everyone to get killed, or for you to end up in a position where you can't get home. That happened to me recently, where even just by myself, I couldn't get my balloon home, because you need more than one person to fly it, and with a second person, there just wasn't enough space for all the stuff, and so on. So it is easy to get into a position where you either die or can't continue. So it is a pretty tough game. But like a lot of tough games in recent years, it makes itself replayable by having procedurally generated content. So it is something you can keep coming back to over and over. Now, I took that first expedition very slowly because I was talking you through it while I was going, but I've had expeditions that last 5 minutes, where I found the Golden Pyramid very early on. So it's entirely possible to just have these quick little bursts of expeditions in the game. Get away from the volcano. Oh, dear God! Oh, no! The horror! What have I done? Oh. Shug McSporran disappeared in the smoke. And we're just standing in the middle of fire. We have no sanity left. We're basically screwed. We can try to get in the hot air balloon. I'm going to get rid of our artist and basically just leave him in the jungle. So let's set up our hot air balloon. Oh God! Was he my only other human person? I should have left the donkey. Moral of the story is always abandon your donkey first. I don't know if that's good advice, but it sounds like it would be good. Anyway, this has been the Curious Expedition. I really enjoy it. There are one or two things that I consider slightly flawed. I mean, there are a few typos and that kind of thing. The odd rough edge, but it is still in early access, so strictly speaking, it's not finished yet. But there is a great deal of content, and it's under active development all the time. It's also, for me, it's maybe a little bit too random. There are very short expeditions where you just happen to find the Golden Pyramid almost straight away. And there are other times where you just can't find it, however much you walk around. And I feel like combat might be a little too unforgiving. I've never seen even just a basic animal roll an attack that wasn't incredibly devastating. But that's the design of the game. I think that's intentional. So take that criticism for what it's worth. For me, it's maybe a little too unforgiving and a little too unpredictable, but not in a way that really harms my enjoyment of the game. It's just a minor niggle. I do get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and it's ideal with its relatively short expeditions for playing in short bursts. You know, you can have one quick expedition, sort of 15 minutes, 20 minutes, set out for one expedition and then just save and come back another time for the next one. So it is a good game, in my view, and if it seems like something that would interest you, I will put a link in the description box below where you can get this through the Steam Early Access program. This is The Curious Expedition. Thanks for watching, as always, and rejoin me next time when we'll do more game stuff. So until then, bye for now.